Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? I am Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So yes, Bitcoin on the 4-hour. We are still attempting to hold this pretty important level. This pretty important psychological level as well of around 20k. Obviously the previous bull market high, obviously prior to, well, this market cycle, the previous market cycle high, obviously we had our high for this cycle and we're now deciding where the low is for this cycle. And then we'll start the next cycle. So obviously the previous cycle high would have been the 20k high that we had in the previous cycle. But yeah, 20k important level. We are trying to hold it. If we go and look at stocks, they are not looking good at all. They are through this important level of support. I guess we've got more tentative levels of support. You could even say just about where we are now, but clearly is not looking good overall. We've obviously got the level of support down here, and then ultimately the recent lows. I see people talking about people trying to say that the relative, like, why crypto isn't moving down like the stock market, and obviously in relative terms, because we've had this move down, and the move down in Bitcoin is not apparently has not been as bad. It's a bit of a stupid thing to say, because let's look at the chart. The S&P is actually its actual low is all the way down here, and we are quite far away from it with quite a few levels and quite a few areas of price action before we hit the low. Let's look at Bitcoin. We're basically practically at the recent low, just about, might bar a few wicks, this wick down here, and obviously we know this is the more volatile asset. So we're practically at the lows in the more volatile asset, and we're not in the S&P, which is a less volatile asset. So there is actually crypto does not have relative strength next to the stock market. Crypto actually has relative weakness next to the stock market. Literally the opposite of what people are trying to say at the moment. So yeah, I just see people talking about that, and it's just a bit annoying, because we all look at the same charts. If you want to look at the relative strength or weakness, we have to look at actual relative points. And the low, obviously this low is a good point to look at relative to where price is now. This low here is good to look at where it is relative to price now, and yeah, you can see how much closer it is. So if you kind of look at look at it in that perspective, Bitcoin is probably managing to hold onto this level here for the time being, because it has already been it has been weaker in comparison to stock markets already. So yeah, got that one off my chest. We look at some other markets here. We have got the DXY. If this is a bull flag, if this takes another leg up and doesn't put in a top here, a double top here, then we are going to see this. We are going to see basically the lows again, and probably even lower. This takes another leg up, like the aggressive moves that it's been doing. Yeah, that is it. We will be having a disgusting September, as basically everyone is expecting, and everyone pretty much seems to be expecting a 15k Bitcoin. So that will certainly happen if the DXY takes this leg up. The 10-year also, they've not managed to get it back below 3%. Not looking good here. Not looking good. Not looking good for risk assets anyway. Looking good obviously if you are short bonds. Which is yeah, so there you go. We want to also have a look here at the Ethereum Satoshi pairing. Still kind of above this support level, so if it can hold here, not looking too bad. But again, we said yesterday, shifting deck chairs on the Titanic. The Ethereum USD pairing is back below this level. Not good to see. Is looking like one of those sort of I can't think what the word it is now, but those sort of topping formations where we just get like the lows and the highs, and the lows and the lows and lows and lows. I guess that's called a trend, but it's like one up from a head and shoulders. You have the head and shoulders, but then you've got like an extra shoulder and an extra shoulder, and then if you break the neckline of all of that, which will be down here, then yeah, I mean we'll see we will see triple digit Ethereum again, if that is to be the way this plays out. Obviously we know we've got the merge catalyst. Let's see how it plays out, but in the face of the actual full-on devastation and lack of liquidity that's happening in real markets, yeah, it's not good. Obviously this is all driven by the Fed. I personally find it pretty disgusting that basically these governments, aided by these central banks, just print away, do whatever. The rich get richer, they dish out money to the rich, the poor don't really get anything, and then it's like, well, now we've got inflation because we dished out all this money to everybody and they had excess money, so they started buying everything up. We've caused inflation, so now we're going to have to make you all lose your jobs. You're all going to get poor, you're all going to struggle, you're all basically, everybody's going to have to suffer, and then obviously the poorest will suffer the most. So when we had obviously the liquidity tap on, it was the rich that benefited the most, and the poor just got like a tiny bit of trickle down. And now that basically the liquidity tap is getting obviously switched off, it's basically the poor that are going to really struggle just to stop the inflation, just so they can save the currency. And people say, well, I see their point of view. As a central banker, you're only really responsible for that currency. That is your job. Your only concern. If you lose control of that currency vis-a-vis inflation, then you are done, basically. But that is not the only option. There is an alternative to try and move to a different system, some sort of a reset. Obviously, they know this. They're trying to engineer some sort of a reset and have been for a while, but clearly it's been unsuccessful. And obviously, a reset is not really going to be a reset, because it's just going to basically just be a reset would not really be beneficial to them, so they're not really going for like a proper reset where you could actually have anything, because at the end of the day, prices are only moving up against basically the trash currency that they're measured against. So if we did have some sort of currency system or trading system with some sort of intermediary, like obviously currency, but that wasn't manipulated or controlled, inflated away, and just all the shenanigans they do with them, then maybe we'll end up with a more reliable system. But like I said, they are trying to do that, but the only way they can do that really properly would not be to the benefit of themselves, and it will be to the benefit of all the people that the current system is not to the benefit of. So they don't want that. So yeah, like I said, as a central banker, as the Fed, the only concern is the longevity and the strength of the dollar and and obviously the world reserve currency status. They don't have any other option other than to literally make like so many people poor, lose their jobs, just basically destitute, just to save their system, which works very well for them. So yeah, that's the end of that rant. Bitcoin dominant struggling. I mean, I guess, like I said, shifting deck chairs and Titanic, yeah, so what if your altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, but obviously they're all going down in fiat value. What I also would like to say is that we've got this Mt. Gox. I won't call it FUD, because it's literally like these guys are going to get their coins back, aren't they? And that is a Bitcoin specific thing. They're not getting Ethereum back. They're not getting Solana back. They're not getting anything else back. They're getting BTC back. So they are obviously going to be dumping BTC onto the market. So obviously that is the crypto they're going to be selling. Therefore, they're not going to be selling ETH. So, or any of the other alts. So it does kind of make sense in this down market, especially if it is partially driven by Mt. Gox. Then yeah, obviously you'd expect Bitcoin to underperform. And also don't forget that Bitcoin is the inferior asset to Ethereum. So ultimately, as time goes on, more people realize that, and then it will be dumping this asset in favor of Ethereum, and then Ethereum will obviously drive this ratio down. So what else do you want to look at here? Yeah, oil again struggling, showing that obviously we've got difficult times purposely caused by the Fed, that we're all going to suffer. More so the poorer people are going to suffer, just because the Fed decided to try and keep the rich people richer during obviously the previous bad times we've had, by inflating obviously the money supply and inflating asset prices just to keep the rich richer. Who has all the assets? Rich people have the assets. Who has no assets? The poor people. So they dished out a load of money to keep the asset prices high for the rich people, and now the poor people are basically going to have to pretty much suffer the consequences of that inflation. So it really annoys me. I don't know if you can tell. It really irks me. But yeah, gold also not looking good in this environment. Nothing's going to look good in this environment. Like the only Hail Mary crypto has is, like I said, I don't know how to what extent they can literally cause a massive global depression and just cause just mass poverty, mass starvation, mass whatever, literally just to save the dollar and the current Finance 1.0 fiat currency system. I don't know how far realistically they can take it to save their system, because they're going to have to take it pretty far to save that system, and that is going to cause immense social unrest. So like I said, then if we don't have that system, then there will be a part to play for crypto. There will be a part to play, and I know this is all the generally the idiot crypto people talk, like we are going to be the new world reserve currency. At the end of the day, if it becomes apparent that central bankers can't inflict enough pain on the world to rein in inflation, which I'm not sure, I just don't know whether they can or can't. They can rein in inflation, it's just, can the world stomach the amount of pain that will take, or will we have some sort of a new system forced in? And in any new system, we know for certain crypto will play a part in. Just even if it's only by a certain amount of people in certain countries, crypto will be a part of it, because it is a functioning payment system and an ability to transfer wealth and all that fun stuff. So it will have a part to play. Maybe that at some point will just give it slight relative strength against other risk assets. Who knows? But like I said, that is a long shot. That is a Hail Mary. But yeah, other than all of that, how are stochastics looking? We've still been hanging around these lows. I suspect that ain't going to be good for the reads. Yeah, 4 hour didn't really give us much of a bounce and is now looking to come back down. 10 hour still pointing up. 12 hour again turned back down from this level, so it's not looking good now. Did look like it's trying to get a move up, but obviously rejected. Daily turning up for a low level, so we've got that. Buy daily trying to turn up, but not at the moment. 3 day losing its sort of downward momentum, but 5 day freshly turned down. Weekly freshly turned down. Bi-weekly at that low level, and we won't even look at monthly. So the stochastic read, on the basis that we haven't even managed to get much of a move up from here, is now not looking as good. These charts is now not looking as good as it was before. So yeah, we could see a break. Like I said, I think a lot of it will come down to obviously the direction of stocks. If they come down much further, they are going to drag Bitcoin down with it, even if they're not really driving it down too much at the moment. And if their DXY makes this next leg up, yeah, it is curtains. It is curtains, guys. It is curtains. So there you go, guys. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.